Hello everyone and welcome to the Q&A for March. You guys are getting this a few days early and you might be like, why are we getting this early? And the reason for that is we are currently on a honeymoon, or going on a honeymoon. You might be watching this later, in which case we're on a honeymoon. There is a gnat on the camera. He was flying around earlier and there he finally landed. If he crawls across the front of the lens, it'd be so cool. I kind of hope he does that. Anyway. We are here to answer more of your questions. We do that at the end of every month. If you don't know how it works, basically all you need to do is leave your questions for us down in the comments below, and then at the end of next month we come back, we pick the best ones, and we answer them. We're going to start with the top rated questions. There were actually a bunch, so we just picked two. I know that sounds weird, but the way YouTube is set up now, there can be comments that have like 4,000 thumbs up, but then the ones with like 4 get above that somehow. Don't ask me how it works, so we just picked out two. The first is from Betty Boo, and she asked, Stephen, if YouTube never existed, what would you be doing now? Would you have chosen a different degree? Would you have gone to SCAD? Your life in a way revolves around YouTube, so how different would your life be without it, or if it didn't exist? I don't know what I would be doing now. I'd probably just be pursuing something in the film field. I was set on doing film before YouTube was ever even in my mind. I mean, I didn't do Nintendo Speaks until college, because Lance wasn't born until college, because Fabi's Orange wasn't born until college. I mean, I had a few videos on YouTube, but YouTube wasn't like my thing. I just really enjoyed film. So I would have still went to SCAD. The only thing that would have been different is that instead of pursuing YouTube, I would have been pursuing some other video-like thing. I'd be looking for actual work, which would suck. The other question is from Crisdoben, and he asked, do you and Mal ever get into any arguments?
Daily.
Mal, why don't you talk about our amazing relationship?
Our arguments are like, you get water. No, you get water. No, you fill up my cup of water.
The short answer is yes, we do. We're not in any way, shape, or form a perfect couple, and we have real arguments. I mean, we argue about like things that matter.
I thought we were in agreement on those.
No? You want to start something right here and now? I'll tell you about the things that matter. I mean, we bicker, but I wouldn't say that we do a whole lot more than bicker. We're really good friends. We are. We get along really, really well for people who have to put up with each other for a lot of that. Like, it works both ways. Anyway, so yeah, we're not perfect. We get into arguments, but
nothing that's like memorable, like that one time.
Memorable arguments. Anyway, yeah, anytime we have something serious, we solve it pretty quickly.
Always before bed, like a sitcom. Everything solved in a half hour.
Well, we do have a rule that we aren't allowed to go to bed angry. We've lived by that forever, and it's a good rule. If you don't already employ it in your own life, you should, because it's actually a good rule. We're going to move on to the actual questions, because those questions didn't count. Filthy Evil Goblin asked, I have been watching the past videos, and on the 521st days bonus video, Alex scared the crap out of you. Were you talking to Mallory on Skype then? If so, Mallory, what was your reaction?
Stephen had just gotten into the room and was calling me on Skype when it happened. So all I heard was Stephen screaming, not knowing what was going on. And then he had to go like talk to Alex. So I didn't know what happened for a long time.
If you guys haven't seen that video, it is a really good video. Just go to the channel and type in 521 or 521 bonus, or I don't know what the actual video is called. It's like I've never been so scared in my life or something. It's pretty funny. It's worth watching. The next question comes from the 1000 Gamers, and it says, did you know Mallory in high school? Sort of, for like a very small amount of time.
You know of me.
I knew of her. I didn't know her personally. She was in, I don't know if you knew this. I mean, I don't know how deep you are into the vlog history. She's from Wisconsin. I'm from South Carolina. We met online through Starman. Most people know that. But I did know her in high school, sort of, because you were a member of my forum.
Yes.
I used to run a forum back in the day, and she was a member of it pretty early on, and I knew of her, but that was about all it was until freshman year of college. That's when we really started talking.
I was a freshman in college when he was a senior in high school.
She likes to point out the fact that she's an older woman. I have a thing for older women.
11 months.
What can I say? TwitchyKong asks, Stephen, how much of what you film each day do you actually keep? Like, do you film a lot of footage, and then during editing, do you just keep the best parts?
It used to be that way.
What do you mean?
You used to film a lot more.
Yeah, well, when you first start vlogging, you have a tendency to do one of two things. Normally you start one way and work and go to the other, and then you flip-flop for a while in the beginning. You either film freaking everything, like you think that everything is the most interesting thing in the entire world, like, you know, you're filming the cat's litter box and you're like, my cat pooped today, and you're trying to film everything possible. Or you're not filming jack, and you have this terrible syndrome where, like, you do something, but you don't film it, so you just film everything after. So many vloggers do that, and I did that at the beginning, where, you know, you have this, you go to, like, this crazy party, and instead of filming the party, you just film it afterwards. You're like, I just went to this party, it was all day, it was really great, it was a lot of fun, I had fun at the party.
I didn't film anything.
I was gonna film at the party, but then, I was just having fun, and it would be weird, because I don't want my friends to know that I do this. So, most people start doing one of those, and then jump back to the other. And I did, but eventually you get to the point where you know what you're going to keep. I only shoot something if I'm going to keep it, and I know if I'm going to keep it or not. Now, there's still stuff that gets edited down, because whenever I'm walking around the house filming me, I don't, obviously it's, you know, fluid. It's me talking, then it's me talking, then it's me talking. It's not me talking, and then, you know, breathing.
Messing up.
And messing, yeah. I edit out that stuff. As far as the amount of footage, in the past it was a lot. Now, at very most, maybe 15 to 20 minutes of footage a day, and that's a ton of footage. Normally, however long the day is, add like 10% of that. So if it's like a 6-minute vlog, add another 60 seconds. That's how much footage I shoot, because I normally know what I'm going to shoot. Anyway, Danny66442200 says, hey Stephen and Mal, what did your parents think when they found out you were dating over the internet? Did they have a weird reaction, or did they find it normal?
Mine were sort of like, huh, and you're sure he's a good boy? And I was like, yep. And they were like, that's strange, but okay.
My parents didn't really find it all that odd.
Your parents found it odd that you had a girlfriend to begin with.
Yeah, they thought that was odd, because I had weird history with some girls in high school, and it basically messed me up, and I was like, I hate women, and I'm gonna go to college and focus on my studies. And
that's what he told his parents going to college.
And it was like only a few months into college, and I'm like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, and also she lives in the internet. So I think they were probably more flabbergasted that I had a girlfriend as opposed to her being on the internet, because I had a lot of friends on the internet and I spent all my time there, so I think they probably thought that was pretty normal. The next question is from DragonX647, and he asks, Stephen, when did you first think about proposing to Mal, and how scared were you? How scared were you when you did it? Plus, did you at all think she would say no? I knew she would say yes. That was never an issue, because I had asked her before that. I was like, hey, if I propose to you, will you say yes? She was like, uh-huh. And I was like, okay. It's not like I did that the day before or anything, but it was something I knew ahead of time.
Before I spent all this money buying a ring.
And when did I first think about it? Gosh, I don't know. Actually, there's a day on the vlog, and I don't know what day it is, but it's one where I'm at college, and I don't say anything about it specifically, but I say something like, I did something really important today, or whatever. And what I did is I called both of her parents and asked if I had permission to marry her. But as far as like when I first thought about it, I don't know. I mean, we hadn't been dating all that long, and I pretty much knew that if things progressed the way they were, that I was gonna marry her. Flame Guy 42 asked, did Argyle come from the segment on Galaxy News Radio in Fallout 3 entitled The Adventures of Herbert Daring Dashwood and his stalwart cool manservant Argyle? I tried to do that as close as... Was it pretty good?
Yeah,
pretty good.
it's been a while since I played Fallout.
Yeah, I haven't heard it in a while. Not on purpose, but probably partially subconsciously. Lots of Lees right there. I thought of Argyle's name before I started the LP, but only by like an hour. Like before, like while I'm downloading
Updates.
Yeah, like while I'm downloading Steam or Skyrim on Steam, you know, I'm like, okay, let's see what I'm gonna come up with, you know, and I guess just because I was thinking of Argonian, ARG, and that just triggered Argyle, but I have a feeling it was probably somewhat based on that, which is actually kind of cool because they're both Bethesda titles, and I've thought of this since. I was like, man, I bet that subconsciously it came from that somehow. And you were actually the first person to mention that. No one else has picked up on that. But yeah, I think Argyle is actually the manservant to Herbert Daring Dashwood. And I think, isn't he a ghoul? I think he is. I think he's a ghoul, which kind of works as the Argonian thing. I don't know. I'm spending too much time on it. Terrablaze5562 asked, what are your favorite drinks?
Green Apple Jones and Raspberry Coke.
Water. I'm healthy.
I like juice, especially grapefruit.
Vanilla Coke. I really like vanilla Coke. And I don't drink it very often.
You would kill a man for vanilla Coke.
Apparently I would kill someone for a soda.
No, but you always freak out when you see it in stores.
Not anymore. Now it's common. Now it's coming back and you can get it. Green Apple Jones is good, but I actually prefer Strawberry Lime Jones. I like that better than Green Apple. I do. I'm sorry to disappoint. What are your favorite types of music genres? From Zelda Princess 8675309. Oh, hey. Hey, Jenny, we got your number. Do you get that?
Yes, I do.
Anyway, what's your favorite type of music? It's funny that I said that, and that's the question. 80s music. Tommy Two Tone. Sorry, go ahead.
I listen to indie/punk. That drives Steven crazy because he's like, that punk music.
Oh God, the punk music. See, I don't mind punk, but there's a lot of punk that sounds like punk, and it's all the same. It's like punk has a really bad tendency to fall into what I call the ska problem, where ska starts to all sound the same. Punk does the same thing. I like punk music, I really do, but too much of the punk, man. There's too many times where I'll hear a song that she plays, and then another song comes on, and I don't know that we've switched songs. I'm like, is the song not over? Do you have it on repeat? She's like, this is a different band, and it's a different song. And I'm like, oh, sorry, it all sounds the same. As for me, I like everything. I really do. I am a big fan of classical video game music, metal, heavy metal, not so much death metal. Death metal's not really music. Screamo is also not a whole. I mean, it's actually I actually have screamo bands I like, but screamo and death metal is like, yeah, you know, very little. Once in a while when I'm in one of those moods. Otherwise, hip hop, rap, R&B, rock, alternative rock, nerd rock. Indie, big fans of indie and alternative rock. Yeah, not a huge fan of country. And when I was growing up, all my parents listened to pretty much was country and gospel. And I knew every single country song ever. Seriously. Any country song that was made from, like, at, I don't know, like 1998 and before, like, I know every single word of that country song. And I actually still go back and listen to some country music, and I like really old country music too. Like old stuff is good. The stuff they call country now, that's garbage. That's not even music. Don't even, no, it's not music. Don't listen to it. And Johnny Cash. Is that a genre? I was kind of lumping that in with the country thing, but I don't know. Seriously, it's really hard to find music I don't like, or music I won't at least try out. And people have recommended me music in the past, and I listen to it and I like it. In fact, someone recently mentioned Scatman John, and I had some of Scatman John's music, but it was like, oh yeah, Scatman John, because my library has like 20,000 songs. So the other day I listened to Scatman John for like an hour, and I'm sure the neighbors thought it was crazy. Because that's all the music is. Anyway, I'm rambling. Amstrauz asked, hello Stephen, would you ever change the feel / your attitude towards the vlog in order to appeal to a larger audience? No. Or would you rather keep the content the same and potentially lose a few subscribers? Well, before I continue reading the question, that's kind of a weird statement. I understand what you're getting at, but by keeping the content the same, I don't feel like I'm losing subscribers. I mean, anyone who subscribes
and wants him to go like commercial?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, anyone who subscribes to the vlog now kind of, at least I assume, kind of understands what they're getting themselves into. It's a whole lot of food. It's a lot of food. It's in my opinion, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. A lot of it's just updates about the Let's Play channel and food. And I've seen people make comments about that. There's someone I know actually posted a status update on Twitter. It was like, man, I wish StephenVlog wasn't just about food and the Let's Play channel anymore. And I can't do anything about that. I mean, my life is my life. If people want to watch it, I'm putting it out there. If you want to subscribe and just watch the thumbnails that are interesting, then, I mean, you're welcome to do whatever.
And they change. I mean, in the summer we'll be going places and doing stuff, because I don't teach in the summer. And
yeah, back in the day, whenever college was a thing, people watched the college vlogs, and then whenever I went home for summer, people just, like, the percentage rate of people watching went down by a good 20 to 25%. Like, a lot of people just like, oh, Alex and Dan aren't in this. I care less. And I mean, that's fine. I'm not like a dictator. I'm not like, you better watch all my videos, I'll come to your house. I don't care. I mean, I'm putting the stuff out there. If you guys want to watch it, watch it. And that's pretty much all there is. I should probably read the rest of the question. Do you have an idea of the ratio between numbers of viewers who watch the Let's Plays and viewers who watch the vlog? I know numbers. The vlogs, well, actually the vlogs have changed dramatically in like the last 2 weeks, but generally the vlogs get anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 views. Lately they've been getting 2,000 and over, which is really weird for us, but hi everyone, welcome to the vlog, because there must be a lot of new people. As far as the Let's Plays generally do about twice as much as the vlog, which is good, because I mean people like video games, and also that stuff is there's more views that come in a month total on the Let's Plays, because you can go back and watch the Portal 1 Let's Play and it's still as relevant now as it was then, and the vlog that I do now for today is not going to be relevant in 10 months. So I'll stop talking. But as far as to answer your actual question, would I ever change the feel or the attitude towards the vlog in order to, would I ever become the guy that's like, favorite this video, like this video? No, I did that for a few days back in like the 400, 500 range. I hated myself, and I decided not to do that again. So the way it is now is the way it will be. It's not always the most interesting thing, but it is the most truthful thing. What you get is what is going on. I'm not trying to make it any more interesting than it actually, well, I try to make it a little more interesting than it actually is. There's days that, you know, I'm just bored out of my mind, but on those days I normally pick a topic and try to make it interesting and have like an intellectual discussion. I'll stop talking for that question. 198 Link says, Stephen and Mao, how do you guys feel being in a long distance relationship affected your relationship? How long did you both know each other before you got married? Was it weird to tell people who didn't know about it? And what would you say to someone in a long distance relationship right now? From Curtis Schnitzler, and he says, yes, go ahead and say my last name. Schnitzler is the name of a vlog day. It was from when Curtis sent us some mail. It was back in like the 500s. Anyway, so how do you feel that being in a long distance relationship affected the relationship?
It sucked at times.
It sucked!
At times. Especially leaving in the airport, dropping Stephen off, getting dropped off at the airport. Those were awful times. And otherwise, I think it's made it stronger. I mean, we've had to overcome being apart and just seeing each other on our tiny monitors every day for years.
Adding to what Mao said, it definitely made it stronger. I knew couples that were in relationships longer than we were, and they didn't know half the stuff about each other that we knew about each other, because there was no time for dates. There was no time for physical. There was no time for anything. All we could do was talk, and that's what we did. We talked. And a whole lot. We would spend on average, I say on average, but probably at least, but we'll say on average 10 hours a day talking to each other every single day for years. And some of you were like, that's crazy. That's not possible. That number is
wrong.
Yeah, that number's wrong. It's not. It's really not.
I wish Skype kept totals for us.
Yeah, it would be a scary 5-digit number. But that's what we would do. We would keep each other on Skype, and we would be on there for 10 to 12 hours a day.
We'd leave it on, and Stephen would go eat dinner, then come back, and we'd talk some more.
We just always talked. We played online games together. The Yahoo pool, my God, we played
that so many times.
So many games of Yahoo pool, because at the time Mallory's computer sucked and still sucks, and we couldn't play games like Left 4 Dead or things like that. So had to play the old Java games like Yahoo pool and stuff like that. So the next part of the question was, how long did we know each other before we got married? I proposed at 2.5 years, and we got married about a year later, so 3.5 years is how long we knew each other.
And now it's been 4 years.
Yeah, and now we're at 4. And was it weird to tell people who didn't know about it?
It wasn't weird, but it was hard for them to understand, I think.
I didn't care. I've never cared about anything. I like to say things like that and just let people sit for a second and then clarify, because it's funnier. I've never ever given 2 craps about what people think. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I feel a certain way, then that's the way I feel. You can try your best to change my mind, but you probably won't. And if I feel something's right, I'm going to do it. And that's just the way I am. That was only semi-related to this question, but I had to get it out there. I mean, it was the truth, though. If I was going to tell someone about it, if someone asked, because I got a lot of questions, as you would expect. People that I knew in real life didn't really understand, like, you dating this girl, you don't know who she really is, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I do. I really do. I talk to her 10 hours a day, and we've been dating for a month, so I've talked to her for, 300 hours?
Before Stephen first came to visit me, first meeting, he had people be like, you sure you want to fly there? You want me to fly with you? Make sure she's a real person?
Yeah, they were like, dude, you don't want to like end up in like a body bag, dude. Dude, you don't want to end up in like a dumpster. And I'm like, I'll be fine, thank you. She's a woman. I mean, like, she's smaller than me. I don't think she's going to be capable of lifting me into the dumpster. Anyway.
What would we say to someone?
Yeah, what would you say to someone in a long-distance relationship right now? Go for it. Go for it. But just be aware, especially for people who are thinking about getting into one. It's hard as crap. It makes you feel awful. You will be the most depressed you've ever been in a long time. But if you stay strong and you keep communication the #1 priority, because it has, if you don't have communication, give up. Just don't even start. If you're in the middle of one and you guys aren't talking, then you better sure as heck fix that, because that's what it takes. We talk 10 hours a day. That's what it took. For
us.
Yeah, I mean, could we have probably talked less? Yeah, but I mean, we are such amazing friends and so super compatible, and we only knew that because we talked.
We wanted to talk.
Yeah, there was nothing else to do. We had to talk because we couldn't go out on dates, and we couldn't, stare at our food, and we couldn't hold hands or do whatever, and we had to talk. So that's what we did, and because of that, we knew each other superbly. So when we met each other for the first time after knowing each other for only 3 months, it felt like we had known each other for years because we knew all the information that it would take for a regular couple in real life to get over the course of years. I'd say that right now we probably know each other as good as people who've been married for 20 years.
Yeah.
I
agree with that.
And honestly, some of you are like, oh, that's silly. I really legit think that. Because we have just every form of communication possible. I mean, we really just pushed that to the envelope. The only difference is that we haven't spent a whole lot of time together in the same place, But that's went well. I mean, we've survived, what, 8-9 months here? We haven't killed each other yet. Let's move on to the next question. Gokami asks, I have a few questions. Number one, my fiance is a first-year teacher just like Mal and tends to have trouble with the kids in her classes. Do you have any strategies or tips for classroom control?
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
I teach at an inner city school with inner city children and inner city problems and inner city behavior issues. It is difficult. I'm told by my other teachers and principal that I'm doing fantastic. I do not feel that way. I look around every day and I'm like, what am I doing here and why are these kids not listening to me? So, my strategies is stay calm. I yell very infrequently, and when I yell, I've had kids be like, oh, Mrs. Weir's yelling, and they get upset because I don't yell otherwise unless I have to.
Speak softly and carry a big stick.
I don't carry a big stick.
I didn't mean that literally. I meant conduct yourself reasonably. That way, when you have to get mad, then they'll know you're serious.
Yes. I also use broken record technique. The children get really annoyed with that. I teach elementary, and I'm like, have a seat. And they're like, but have a seat. But have a seat. It works eventually, but if you stay calm and just repeat yourself, they're sort of like, they sort of back down and they forget what they were trying to ask you. It works some days.
And the second question is, we're also looking for places to honeymoon later this year. I suggested going to Myrtle Beach. Since you've lived there, do you have any recommendations or activities to do in town?
Depends what you like to do and how much you want to spend.
Myrtle Beach is pretty interesting because it's a place where you can have a lot of fun for little to no money, or you can have a lot of fun for a lot of money. There's a wide range of things to do. A lot of people have fun just going out and chilling on the beach all day. That's an A-okay activity. A lot of people do that one of the first days and they're like, man, this is awesome. And then they spend half their vacation doing that. That's fine. In fact, a lot of people enjoy that. It's free. If you really want to build a sandcastle, you can buy like the bucket and the pail, or the pail and the shovel for like $2 at the beach store.
Don't get burned.
That's the only thing. I would highly recommend Myrtle Beach. It's a swell place. But don't get burned. Be very, like, I don't know what it is, but a lot of people, they go to the beach, they go to a place that's hot, and they're like, I'll be fine. No, you won't.
Yeah.
You will die.
Besides working on the beach twice and working at a restaurant where lots of tourists came to, they would come on their very first day of vacation and get really burnt.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to be done because
I feel so bad for those people.
It's hot.
Just never underestimate the power of that great big star out there, because it will fry your little buns off. Make sure, or big buns, I don't know you. But make sure that you are very covered with the stuff, the lotion of forgiveness, because you're gonna need it.
As for other things, mini golf is cool. There's some really neat places and there's some really awful places.
Mini golf is actually stupendous. I would highly recommend doing it several times while you're there. It's
different places.
It's relatively inexpensive. Do it in the evenings when it gets cool. And you can do one place one night and then another place another night. I would do 2 or 3 places while you're there because it's actually a lot of fun. As far as individual places I'd recommend, go online and look up reviews. It's been too long, I don't remember.
I mean, if you're looking for shopping, Broadway at the Beach is fun.
Broadway, Tanger, Barefoot.
Market Commons is
Market
new
Commons-ish. I mean,
if you're looking for like a dinner show, I hear what's it called?
Pirates something.
Pirates Voyage. It's Dolly Parton's show.
It's whatever Dixie Stampede. It used to be Dixie Stampede, but now it's something else. And there's
Same
also
food, so it's good.
And there's also Medieval Times. So there's a lot to do in Myrtle Beach, and this isn't just directed to Gokami. This is directed to anyone who wants to go to Myrtle Beach, because it's actually a pretty cool place. Next question comes from HockeyMonkey11293. It says, do you feel artists should also get a business degree to increase their chances of being taken seriously, and if so, what level degree? I don't... You go.
I think it's helpful, especially knowing, like, if you're the stereotypical artist, you don't like to talk to people, you don't like to go out and put your work out there.
We don't want to talk too much about this because we did talk about this last...
But having a business degree...
Just, do you think it's useful?
Yes. But I don't think you need, like, a doctorate in business. Maybe a few classes would be helpful. Maybe an undergrad in it would be a little more helpful, but I don't think it's necessary. But I think it's helpful.
In my opinion, the classes not the degree, is useful in my opinion. I think the knowledge from the classes is more important than the degree. That being said, I don't know jack. I really don't. I don't know anything. So don't take what I'm saying very seriously. But in my mind, where all sorts of wonderful things originate from, I would say that the information that you would learn in the classes is more important than the actual degree. And if you would do hardcore research online, that you'd probably be fine, because I think the information is more important. That being said, I don't know anything. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Next is AnimeExpertGirl, who asks, do you prefer to draw traditionally or digitally?
Traditionally. I mean, digitally only in Illustrator with the pen tool. But then I'm normally copying a pencil drawing I've done. I scan it and then I'll put it in Illustrator. I
don't draw. I really don't. I'm about to draw a lot for an upcoming LP, and that'll all be digitally. And if I have to do any, I mean, I don't draw, but I would say digitally, just because I do a lot of graphic work. I mean, I have to make a thumbnail every single day too.
That's not drawing.
I know, but it's as close as I get. I don't actually draw anything. So if I want to be included in the question, I have to be like, hi, I do the Photoshop. I make the graphics, because that's all I can really connect with. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The final question for this Q&A comes from Ryan Rotom12, and he asks, what do you do in your free time when you aren't making videos, Stephen, or at the school, Mal?
I do a few different hobbies. If I'm not playing video games or napping because I get exhausted teaching, I garden. I have orchids. An orchid, the other one died.
We didn't mention that.
Yeah, Penelope died.
Penelope is dead. She rotted.
It wasn't my fault. She was rotting when we got her.
It was because we got her at Sam's Club.
Yeah. But anyway.
They don't take care of stuff.
I take care of Atticus, and he's doing fantastic. Like, he looks so beautiful. He looks fake.
And Atticus came from
a real store.
A real store, so that's why.
I also have some herbs and I also sew and cook.
I'm also a housewife.
I wish I lived in the 50s.
No, you don't. You would have no rights. The 50s was a messed up time.
But I could wear petticoats and little hand gloves.
You can still do that. Everyone just thinks you're crazy. As for me, I really, also, I'm going to speak up for her and tell you what she really does in her free time. Play Skyrim all the friggin' time. Like, I mean, she's like, I garden and sew and I cook. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't do any of these things. You garden by making sure Atticus is still alive when you come home for a few minutes, and sometimes you water some plants. You don't cook, because I cook. The most cooking you do is once a week on Sundays, and you don't always do that. Usually it's once every 2 weeks. I do the stinking cooking, and you never friggin' sew. Ever.
I do sew.
You do so. She does not.
I meant to do it this weekend, but my mom was here, and next weekend we're going to be on our honeymoon, and the week after that we get back from our honeymoon.
What she does is she plays Skyrim and she naps. The napping is excusable because, she has to deal with all the crap she has to deal with at school. She comes home exhausted and naps, but when she gets up, she plays Skyrim until I've made dinner. That is how she uses her free time.
That's just what happened today.
That's what happens every day. I'm okay with that. That repeated infinitely is fine with me. I mean, I don't care. I play Skyrim in the day and record it. She comes home and plays Skyrim at night. Skyrim's a wonderful game. Infinite DLC, that would be great. Anyway, because we're almost out of time. We're really almost out of time with the memory card. I don't have free time. I really don't. She can vouch for that. In the evenings, I work all day on stuff. She comes home in the evenings, and I really don't have time. I really don't. I mean, I make dinner. We do stuff like this, and it's kind of sad actually, but I don't have a whole lot of free time. And I could have free time, but I'm just working really hard to get ahead in some stuff right now. So this summer I'll have free time. I'm really trying to do a month's worth of work ahead of time. That is my ultimate goal, to take a month off without losing content. You guys will still get, all the content that you normally get, but I'll be able to just kind of chill, and that's going to be awesome. I also will be able to end Daily Pack and finish up Nintendo Speaks, or Nintendo Plays Minecraft. Anyway, since we're almost out of time on the memory card, legit, and we have like a minute, thank you guys so much for watching. We do a Q&A every month. If you want to ask us a question,
Also, thumbs up your favorite. We try and answer the top.
We try to answer the top
when YouTube isn't
question.
messed up.
So write your own, but then go through and look at what other people have posted and put the thumbs up on the ones that you're like, hey, that is a good question. I wish I would have thought of it myself. Alternatively, mark theirs as spam and write it your own. Don't do that. That's jerkish. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next month.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah, we hope we see you tomorrow. Remember earlier I was like, I just put my videos out there. In reality, please watch my videos. If you don't watch my videos, we can't eat.
He's a good boy. Let him sleep in your bed.
Please let me sleep in your bed. I'll make it when I'm done.
It was good.
Oh God, there's something wrong with us.